Hello everyone, and welcome to our very first steps on the Braided Shores of Book of Travelers, the brand new, not quite MMORPG, but the TMORPG produced by Might and Delight, meant to allow you to wander a world as a seeker, traveling along its shores, searching out its secrets, and occasionally running into other players who will be wandering this world with you. This is a very different way to do an online game with other people that's really focused on a mix of your own independent exploration, as well as sometimes banding together in order to find the deeper secrets that lay in this world. And I'm very excited because I have been keeping an eye on Book of Travelers for literally years now and backed it when it was on Kickstarter, and now I am delighted to bring to all of you the beta early access version of Book of Travelers, which is going to be available to everyone starting tomorrow. So if you guys think that this gorgeous art, this stunning world, is a place that you want to immerse yourself into, then do keep your eyes out on the Steam page for Book of Travelers tomorrow, because that's when you too could come and join me as we wander through the world together. So this is literally my very first time ever being in here. I haven't even created a character yet, as you can see, but I love to be with people right at the beginning of their adventures and thought that you guys would like to be here every step of the way as we begin immersing ourselves in such a gorgeous environment. And also every step of the way as we try to make some of our very first decisions that will determine the stories that we tell here, by picking what kind of form we are going to be wearing, which is basically your character creation. And I am really nervous about this because there's so many forms to pick from. We have the Weatherer, Mosswalker. How could I resist something that says Mosswalker? You know what I mean? Oh gosh, so I think the forms are kind of like your jobs. A form is a basic wanderer archetype used as a starting template to create a new character. Your chosen form determines a range of options and preset characteristics for your wanderer, and can also inspire you to roleplay in a certain way. There are several startup forms to choose from, as well as more unique ones that you may discover and unlock on your travels across the Braided Shore. Oh, you guys! Oh, I'm really excited about this. I just wonder which form we're gonna pick. Origins. Many different types of people and beings inhabit Braided Shore, Asken folk being the most common. Your origin describes what type of people you are related to. Each type of being has its own strengths and weaknesses. So wind affinity, is that the same? Okay, so wind affinity does look like the same. Origin, wind. So this would be the Asken folk, the eastern wind, and this would be Asken folk, the southern wind with the Weatherer. So you can kind of see, already there's some differences. We'll look through all of them before I pick, by the way, because I love being able to wrap ourselves in the layers of lore that you can find hiding away in text like this. So just be prepared, relax, unwind, and sit back as we begin a role-playing adventure journey that will have other people, maybe even some of you, wandering around it as well. So wind affinity. Every person has a connection to one of the four great winds. Affinity makes the cost of skills that wind less. The cost of skills that wind less, meaning you need fewer skill points to learn it. Okay, so I think if it's an eastern wind ability, then if we are of the eastern wind, we'll have a natural affinity with it. And then the Asken folk, descended from the peoples that inhabited the islands of Braided Shore since recorded annals, your kind is by far the most numerous. Naturally adaptive and resourceful, Asken folk have no natural physical weaknesses or fortitude, but their inherent spirituality makes them able to master the language of magic. And born to an eastern wind, you receive a buff on skill checks related to the eastern wind, with its powerful, just, and true qualities. Okay, so that would be if we chose Mosswalker, which I literally didn't know Mosswalker was a thing because I've tried to avoid spoilers. Deep Cleft, Bright, and Small Delight is kind of like what you would say about Mosswalkers, I suppose. Spiritual and social, so that's what a Mosswalker is, and I think these are the first of the emotes that you start with. the way that you communicate with other people in Might and Delight's online games is actually not usually through text. Instead, they try to evoke a different kind of communication by using emotes instead. And I actually really love that because it really forces you to think carefully about how you want to arrange like these pictures in order to communicate. And I've noticed, especially when I play Meadow, which is their other online game where you can play with other players running through a meadow as a wild animal, that because you have to use emotes and not text, things tend to be really nice. People tend to be nice to each other, or they like just don't mess with one another like sometimes happens in other MMORPGs. So this will be interesting to see how this plays out. But alright, so we could do Mosswalker. And then there's also the Enfolder, serve and shine with strength and kind. And that's Southern Wind, and that's mechanical and physical. Look at how cool that is. Oh my gosh, I wonder if I'll learn more about this like in background, but I need to pick carefully first. Born in a Southern Wind, let's see, so Southern Wind is stormy and energetic, and everything else is the same. So it's just kind of picking some of the basics. There's the Rechant, treasure the measure, the underknown. So these are mechanical and social northern wind folk who are cerebral, calm, and mindful qualities. So it looks like they're like out searching for a lot of treasure. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. The Lurker plays for life and laughter bright. They're physical and spiritual with the western wind, warm, creative, diffuse, and mystical qualities. The Larker, so they're kind of like, it looks like your bard or somebody who's going to be playing a lot of games and pulling jokes. The Ribboned, magic plane at hearths not feigned. So spiritual and physical, northern wind, cerebral, calm, and mindful quality. Wow. The Gleaner, quick for the trick, first to the findings. So it seems like they really, oh, look at all the really cool stuff he's got packed up on his bag. That is so cool. So stormy and energetic qualities. The Good Word, oh, look at those sheep, that's so cute. Plain and trusted, trail-made child. Powerful, just and true, with mechanical and physical abilities. The Dimmed, wisdom wide as sand and tide. So they're part of the Eastern folk as well, spiritual and mechanical. Oh wow, there's more. The Veiled, soft the stepping, still the gaze, mechanical and social. Ooh, that's actually really, like, it makes me super curious. And mechanical and social, warm, creative, diffuse, and mystical qualities. Okay, that has like my curiosity way up. There's still more. This one has a bunch of little birds, you guys. Unfettered glee with song set free, warm, creative, diffuse, and mystical qualities. And this one has western, spiritual, and social. Oh, they look so happy and like really dramatically emotional. Oh, I wonder if I would pick that one. Look at all the little cute birds. But there's still more. The Crested, splendor, bright, worn, clear, and light. So northern wind, so that's more like calm, cerebral, mindful. Oh, I like that one too. Wow, and the art is just so beautiful. Oh man, and then we have come back around to the Weatherer, where it's physical and social with stormy and energetic qualities. And that leads us back over to the Mosswalker. Powerful, just, and true qualities. So I think I'm like actually pulled between the Mosswalker, which seems to imply somebody who really wants to spend a lot of time like in the forest. The Larker kind of stood out to me, and so did the Gleaner and the Ribbon. The Veiled actually stood out quite a bit to me too. Like, I thought that was cool, but I think I want the Murther. Just somebody who's really energetic and wants to go out, warm, creative, diffuse, mystical qualities. And Western Wind, you know what, I'll take it. I'll take it because I feel like I want to play as somebody, and this helps to determine like the roleplay you're going to have, who is going to be really energetic and be able to get out there and question a lot of people. So I think we'll do that one. Even though there's so many, Mosswalker. You know I would normally pick that. And the Larker also sounds really fun. They're more physical. And then the mechanical and physical, like taking care of a bunch of sheep seems so interesting. The Veiled seems perfect for being really mysterious. But the Murther, I feel, I want to go with somebody who's social and spiritual and just seems to be able to like reach out to people on an emotional level. So we'll grab that one. Oh look, you can do a whole bunch of different backgrounds. Whether or not it is a past you cherish or despise, your background affects who you are. and will influence your future. Your wanderer's age and gender do not affect gameplay and is included solely for any role-playing purposes you choose to pursue when enacting your character. Rural upbringing. Growing up in the farmlands, you learned at an early age how to work the fields, care for livestock, and read the shifting of the seasons. So let's see, your character background story and any other additional character descriptions are free for you to write. These cannot be viewed by other players. Oh, that's so interesting. So you can add like your own little twist to the background. But what you do pick, I think, for like the different upbringing will affect them. We're gonna go ahead and, oh wow, look, you can customize your gender like entirely. That is really cool. So we'll go for female. Can I change the age? Okay, well, I'm 33 right now. I feel like that's a good age, so we'll go for that one. So rural, growing up in the farmlands, you learned at an early age how to work the fields, care for livestock, and read the shifting of the seasons. There's small town. You grew up in a small settlement, learning how to tend to your parents' vegetable garden and heed the individual peculiarities of neighboring villagers. Okay, that's kind of adorable. Big urban, you grew up in a large city, learning the business relationships between trade, craft, supply, and demand, and the many-faceted rules of the city's streets and alleys. Crafts, your youth was spent in apprenticeship, learning the trade of your parents. You have a good understanding of the nature of stone, wood, and metal. Mystical, your child spirit was open to the mysteries. You spent your youth learning to control your mystical gifts. The unknown, lost memories. You have little recollection of your past, nor how you lost your memory. Unburdened by any dark memories, still you imagine you know something of what it is to be an uprooted tree. Illegal? What? You can have an illegal background? That's so cool. You were raised as a cub amongst bandits, learning the tricks and skills necessary to live outside of gentle society. Naval? Oh, guys, this is so cool. I love how immersive you're already able just to dive in with your role-playing, and we just got started. It reminds me a lot of Wildermyth. A child of a seaborne family, you spent most of your youth on ocean-going vessels, learning the language of the waves and the weather. Mountain! You grew up in a mountainous terrain, tending goats, climbing rocks, exploring caves, and listening to the silent beat of the mountain's heart. Islander, you grew up on an island, shore fishing, gathering driftwood, and pondering the mysteries of the tide and the endless horizons. Highborn, lacking nothing in care and comfort, you have enjoyed a privileged childhood as a highborn, bred to shoulder the responsibility of keeping the secrets of engineering and master iron. Ah, see, this is why you have to read everything, and we're already learning a little bit more about the world lore. Poor! Like so many other children of the destitute or unfortunate, for you, going to sleep cold and hungry was the norm rather than the exception. Still, you survived where many perished. Religious, you're raised under the influence of religious believers. After a childhood governed by strict rules and constant judgment, you are now free to pursue your own ways of worship. Enslaved? What? You spent your childhood as the property of others. People can be slaves? Without freedom to choose, you took learnings from every encounter. At freedom's door, and for the first time, you now stand ready to make your own life choices. Oh, wow, and we're back around to rural. Oh, man. Oh, this is really hard. There's so many cool decisions. I think we're going to go ahead and go with unknown, just to be unburdened, but that will also explain why our little wanderer is wandering. And for age, how about I go ahead? I'm going to knock her age down a little bit. We'll go to 29, and we'll knock her age down just a bit because she's not really sure how old she is. Oh, look at all this personality. So now we're moving on to personality. Beside being a crucial cornerstone for your role-playing experience, your wanderer's personality traits will affect a great variety of situations. Positive traits will grant you benefits in certain aspects of your travels, and can often, with clever use, be used to your advantage. Your negative traits, on the other hand, may at times disadvantage or hinder your pursuits. So then, here are my traits that just like randomly popped up. What? Okay, like you can choose, can I not? Oh, you have to pick a oh, look. So you can pick a whole bunch of these traits. It was on Humble, I think, first of all. And then, wow, okay, so I think you picked 2 good traits and 2 bad traits. And then it tells you if gameplay effects are implemented or not yet. Remember, this is like beta as early as it gets access, and the game is going to go on this very long journey as they add more to it and get feedback and change it. And we get to see it from the very beginning, which I think is really fun. You can also add additional personality just for yourself, it looks like. So practical, you know how to prioritize and disregard useless and unimportant details for the sake of reaching more important goals. You travel faster on roads than other folk. While that seems useful, it actually wouldn't be if we're trying to like learn more about everything. So maybe we're imaginative? Your soul breathes creativity and inventiveness. You get a notion when a Sephra is near. I wonder what a Sephra is. And then there's also humble, which doesn't have gameplay implemented yet. You appear modest in the way you present yourself to others. You attract less attention from robbers. I can get robbed. Oh my gosh. There's also romantic, which apparently has a few gameplay effects implemented. You value the twosome ideal greatly and strive to come as close as possible to fulfilling it. You gain more knowledge in parties of 2. You can also be passionate. Your can-do attitude towards your companions removes many obstacles in your way. You and your party run faster. Peaceful. Guided by your inner compass, you accept yourself and the world around you as they are. When resting by a fire, you gain more energy than other folks. Creative. Yours is an imaginative mind with a knack for finding original ideas to solving problems. You consume less reagent for knots that do not share your wind affinity. Optimistic. In spite of the odd setback, your heart is committed to hope and progress. You gain even more knowledge when winning against bad odds. And then we already noted focused. Oh no, we didn't note focused. You are able to fully concentrate on the task at hand. You brew tea quicker than other folk. What? So many of these things are just so cool and different. Then there's also calm. You excel at managing your energy and tend to choose the middle ground rather than all or nothing solutions. You gain more energy from food and drink than other folk. So I think we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to be optimistic, because that's really like what I'm into, and imaginative, because, you know, we don't have a past, so we can just kind of sling together whatever solutions are in front of us. We're less held back by people's assumptions about how the world works. And then the bad traits you have to pick from include bad sight. You suffer from poor eyesight. You can't see the collectibles glimmering at all. Dependent. You are overly reliant on others to meet your emotional and physical needs. You have slightly less force when not a member of a party. Disoriented, you're prone to losing your bearings and getting lost. You respawn further away from where you fainted or fled combat if you are not part of a group. Insecure, you suffer from poor self-confidence and feelings of low self-worth. Enemy strengths signal greater threats than that of actual reality. Negligent, you only focus on keeping track of the most important things in life. You may lose an item of the lowest quality when fainting. Picky eater, you refuse to eat anything but the finest fare. You are unable to eat low-quality food. Shy, getting attention fills you with dread of embarrassing yourself. Your emote icons are smaller than others. Stiff, your body needs some time warming up before reaching full capacity. Running ramps up instead of being instant. Lonely, you have a deep need for connection with others. You will trigger sad emotes at random when there are no other folk around to talk with. Huh. Well, I think disoriented is really good for us, even though gameplay is not implemented just yet. Because, you know, if we're disoriented, we lose our bearing quite often, and that makes sense because we don't really have a lot of a memory. So we'll choose that one. Oh geez, and now there's skills too. There are many skills for the newly awakened wanderer to find, learn, and master. Skills are divided into 5 categories: actions, abilities, tea-making, knots, and passives. Skills can be found, traded for, or taught to you by characters and creatures you meet in your travels. You gain the possibility to increase the amount of skills you have, active as you gather experience and level up. Before being able to use a skill, you must first learn it, and then activate it from your skill book. Right-click on any skill to learn how the skill works. And then knots. The tying of magical knots is the most common magical practice in Braided Shores. The gesture of tying and the final shape of the knot, together with the regions tied to it, are what gives a magic knot its power. There are many kinds of magical knots. Their effects are commonly released instantly upon untying them. Knots are also what Braided Shore folk use for writing. It is believed that the knot symbols closely relate to an ancient word of making that, together with the properties of plants or mineral regents, is what gives them their power. Teas! Serving tea is a common practice all over the Braided Shores. It is also a craft connected to the mystic arts, and magical tea recipes can be acquired throughout the land. Drinking magical or masterfully prepared teas may imbue the drinker with a variety of long-term effects. Abilities. Skills that require cunning, guile, or survival instincts are your abilities. These are not magical, but may very well mean the difference between life and death on your journey. Passives. These abilities or effects that are always active. Actions. Normal skills that your character can perform, like resting or attacking. These skills are automatically come equipped with your character, so you don't have to pick them up. Talents. Oh my gosh, there's so much. Your talents grant you the ability to attempt to overcome challenging endeavors on your journey. Sociality. This is the measure of your social intelligence, your ability to garner feelings of fellowship from others, to gain their trust, or to manipulate them. What? Oh, that's so cool. Physicality. This is the measure of your physical prowess, as well as your ability to intimidate or inspire by sheer might. Spirituality. This is the measure of your attunement to the spiritual world and the strength of your perception into the magical realm. And mechanics. This is the measure of your understanding of mechanical devices and how fluent you are in the language of logic-related subjects. Phew! Okay! So it looks like our starting abilities are Conceal Identity, where we can hide our identity and become an unknown traveler to others. We can Aligns the worlds, showing the spirits of the dead for all to see. What? We need Whispering Orchids and Mirror Ash Leaves for that. The Glinted Lamp conjures a mystical lamppost that shines over a place for some time. Wow. So I guess if I have one extra skill, I think I'm going to put it in Sociality for now, because we have a little chatterer for our character here. She really wants to like talk to others to learn more about the world. And then her appearance. No matter how much energy you put into your own appearance, how you look and how you present yourself plays a big part in how others conceive you. So you can choose different voice and different eye color. You are committed. Oh, what? The eye color actually has an impact on like how the characters will perceive you, I think. So let's see. You strive to live a serene and preserving life as Pale Cobalt. Well, let's see. You strive to live a supportive and adaptive life would be Jade. And same with Pale Jade and Deep Jade. Humility and curiosity with Marble. Wisdom and creativity with Sulfur. Umber is spiritual and imaginative. Mastery and education is Char. Passionate and vivid is Cinnabar. And then Colbert is serene. Passionate and vivid. Let's go with passionate and vivid. I like that idea. We'll have pale cinnabar eyes. The voices are really hard to hear, but I'll go with that voice. Let's see. And equipment. Okay. Oh, you roll your starting equipment? You start your journey with a handful of items in your pack and some worn equipment. On your travels, you can strive to get new and better equipment by exploring, trading, and overcoming challenges and enemies. There is no coinage or specific currency used in Braided Shore, so mastering the art of trading will be key to your material wealth. Right-click on an item to see the approximate value and other details. You cannot carry an infinite amount in your pack. Renting luggage space at a Trainmaster's stash, available at most train stations, is a good way to store things you want to keep but don't have immediate use for. Oh my word. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. So we're gonna randomize and see what we get. A roll of discolored jute as an offhand. It's a poor item. Raw materials are welcome trade commodities in regions where it can't be found naturally. And it looks like we have some bread, simple sourdough bread, and an unwritten note. A slip of sheepskin with the words "Don't forget" written in your native script. Well, I did forget, so let's actually, can I re-roll? Sad looking back piece to wrap for warmth. And then we also have some little meals and a locked box with a keyhole that you hope to one day unlock. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, or we could have a moth-eaten backpack. Oh my gosh. So we can have a moth-eaten backpack, but it's heavy and apparently will burden our speed. And we also have some cheese buns, an unpaid bill from 2 months ago. This is, oh, that's a leaf. No, it's a feather of a farflyer and some spiced flatbread. Oh, I like this. Mismatched pair of gloves and a well-worn cobalt hemp cloak. Wow! The fabric of this cloak carries the weave pattern of the Millomaic weavery. To wrap into for warmth and protection from the elements, flaunt to display status or wealth, or to hide you from prying eyes. Clothes come in many shapes, styles, and materials. So I think we'll go ahead and go with these because I like that feather. Oh my word. I doubt we have a lot of like super useful stuff just yet anyway. All right. So now we need to go ahead and we need to pick our name. Can I enter my nickname? Can I re-roll my name? Oh, so it picks your name, but you can enter your nickname. So I'll just enter my nickname as Siri. And then Elise, and then this is just the name that we ended up picking for ourselves. Your nickname is yours alone and cannot be seen by others. It is changed or added later. Your name will stay with you and cannot be changed later. And it looks like you cannot like write your own name. So, oh, Tassini, recall. Oh, you store the names that you like. I gotcha. So let's see. We'll store that name. Vin. Oh, Vin sounds really fun. So let's store that name just in case. Listen, Essie. Sus. Oh, sus. Oh my gosh, she's a little sus. Well, that would be really fun. But Sim, Domini, Ari, SM. Wow, Kalo, Barry. Oh, Barry. That's a cute one. I think I really do like Vin. Dessa, Adra, Gina, Cassin, Lisfa, Lorem, Perim. Listen, let's see. Yeah, it does eventually like Mian. Mian is really cute. I like that one a lot. And then Mian. Wow, these names, like, I guess it keeps it in the lore of the world then. Mian Kuin? Mian Kuin. I kind of like that because it's the same like number of letters for both names, and they share an I, which and an N. So I'm gonna assume that's lucky. Okay, here we go. What? Oh my gosh! And there's still more. How did your journey begin? I was on a journey at sea. I was traveling on land. I was captured. I can't remember. Wow. How about I was captured, to be a little bit dramatic. Which region did you start your travels? Let's start in East, because we're West affinity, I believe. So that seems to be like throwing ourselves kind of into it. Oh my gosh. Wow, that was really fun. I can't believe how complex all of that was. Whoo! Just to get started, you guys. I already feel like we've started on this fantastic adventure. The chartered cabin is too small.
The chartered cabin is too small and
voiceovers
for comfort. But as you turn to address your displeasure to the captain, the door closes in your face. A heavy bolt sliding shut. You thought you'd paid for passage to a new life. But now, you realize you bought only a prison.
Oh my goodness.